This is a really good question, and the answer is more complicated than just yes or no. It was common traditional household practice to include Hestia first and last in libations. This is tied to shared offerings, where a portion is given to the gods and the rest is consumed by us. It's a communal structure.
But a koe is a total libation.
The entire thing is poured out and nothing is shared. This is how offerings to chthonic gods are given. When it was food, it was burned entirely. There was no shared feast, so the structure here is not communal, it's a complete transfer.
So when we ask if Hestia gets first and last in a koe,
we are combining two completely different ritual systems with entirely different ritual logic, which we can already see by the differences in prayer posture and how offerings are given. And this is where an important distinction needs to be considered, because generally chthonic rites were not brought into daily household worship in antiquity. They were situational, specific, and typically took place outside of the normal structure of the household, its boundaries, and its sacred center. Simply put, the household was structured around the continuity of life. Chthonic rites engaged directly with death, the dead, and forces that are not a part of that shared life. To the ancient mind, inviting these forces into your home was collapsing a necessary boundary that was intentionally maintained, effectively inviting death's gaze into the home. The gods of the underworld were also largely considered to be disinterested in the supplications of mortals. This is not to say they're evil or anything, or a moral judgment. It's simply that their nature and the household's nature are fundamentally different. As a side note, I will say that ancestors and heroes were also considered to be chthonic, but they often had different roles than those with chthonic deities because they were considered our dead. This is a topic, though, that needs a lot more time to cover and would be too much of a distraction for answering this specific question. However, people today often do bring chthonic deity devotion into their daily household practice. And in doing so, we're already working outside of a preserved traditional framework. This is inviting them to the table in a way that ancient people generally avoided. This is, of course, a personal choice, but what it means is that we don't really have a single clear ancient precedent to go by. Without a clear answer, it's more accurate to understand that they come from different ritual structures, and modern practitioners must make informed choices about how they're going to combine these things if that's what they choose to do. What matters most is understanding the structure you're working within, rather than just applying rules without context. I think that one of the most important things about this religion is not only following what was left behind step by step, but also understanding the function of these rituals and how they fit into their worldview and their worship practices. My goal here isn't to tell you who to worship, but to help you understand the internal logic of the traditions we're studying.